How have you been?
I've been great.
You finally got tits, bitch!
Bitch, the estrogen has been kicking in. The only thing that hasn't broken down was these fucking arms. Everything else in my body looks good.
Oh, honey.
Girl, you try that. Look like the real thing.
So, I got some good news to tell you.
What?
This year, Sean Baker's latest film won the Golden Palm at Cannes. Anora is a film about an Uzbek-American dancer from Brighton Beach who elopes with the son of a Russian oligarch. The oligarch's family tracks the couple, threatening to annul the marriage. Greta Gerwig, who was the chair of the Cannes jury this year, praised the film effusively.
A particular film, this incredibly human and humane film that captured our hearts, let us laugh, make us hope beyond hope, and then broke our hearts and never lost sight of the truth. The Palme d'Or goes to Anora by Sean Baker.
Sean Baker's films have focused on marginalized and largely ignored communities, from sex workers to immigrants to single mothers to drug users, Americans who are impoverished, overlooked, and pushed into the shadows. There's been overlap with Sean Baker and the so-called mumblecore movement. Films which use micro-budgets and take advantage of the cheaper film and audio technology we have now to just make movies, without focusing too much on studios which give out big budgets to create films that meet their specifications. Tonight we're talking about a film that very much lives in that overlap. As part of our Queer Cinema Spectacular month of LGBTQ movies, we're talking about Sean Baker's 2015 film, Tangerine. The film was produced on a micro-budget from Mark and Jay Duplass. They had seen Sean Baker's 2008 drama, Prince of Broadway, which followed an immigrant hustler from Ghana who sold brand knockoffs on the streets of New York City.
So I called up Mark and I said, I think I'm ready to make another micro-budget. And he said, well, what's your idea? And I said, Santa Monica and Highland. And he knows LA, he lives in LA, and that's all I had to say. And he's like, green light.
And thought he'd be perfect for their film production company, Duplass Brothers Productions. Drizzly gave out small budgets to mumblecore and independent filmmakers. Sean Baker pitched them on wanting to make a project focusing on Santa Monica and Highland, a now gentrified part of Hollywood that was home to a lot of sex workers, LGBTQ people, and it was rarely shown on film. Tangerine covers this area at a time right before all the businesses were bought up and gentrified, and people were pushed from the area. Most notably, the film features Donut Time, an iconic donut shop on Santa Monica that ended up closing and being bought by Danny Trejo just 2 years later.
It's been 4 years and a lot has changed. We were shooting at a time where this area was becoming gentrified. Now it's pretty much gentrified altogether. The whole film really builds up to this climactic confrontation that takes place with our entire ensemble cast at what was once Donut Time and now is actually owned by Danny Trejo, and he's made it into Trejo's Coffee and Donuts.
Sean Baker wanted real stories and searched out people who really hung out in the area. Finding one of his stars, Maya Taylor, an aspiring transgender actress at the LGBTQ Center. They began regular meeting with Maya and getting immersed in her world. She brought many of her friends to meet with them, telling the writing team stories about their real lives on the streets. The other standout star of the film, Katana Kiki Rodriguez, was Maya's roommate. It was Kiki who was able to pitch an idea to Sean that he and his writer Chris eventually ran with.
So I presented them with three very thin ideas. I said, this is all I have. I think that it has to take place on one day because of our budget. We don't want any wardrobe changes. It'll be easier for us on our budget to have it take place in one day. Two, I feel that there should be somebody looking for somebody else, maybe, or two people trying to find each other. I don't know the genre. Maybe it's a love story. Maybe it's a thriller. I don't know, but I'm seeing two people looking for each other. And then, and the third idea, I want everybody, my ensemble cast, to converge in some sort of climactic confrontation at Donut Time, because Donut Time is such a landmark, and I wanted to. And about a week later, Kiki called me and she goes, "Well, I have an idea. If you want two people looking for each other or two people coming together," and then she told me the story about the mission to find the quote-unquote fish, or the cisgender woman who was part of the affair with her boyfriend. And the minute I heard it, well, Chris and I heard it, our jaws were dropped, and we thought, oh wow, that's dramatic, and that takes our characters on a journey, and it's very layered.
One of the most known things about the film is that Sean decided to try a novel style of filmmaking. Although all the sound was recorded on normal audio recording equipment, the visuals of the film were shot on 3 iPhone S's with a stabilizer and a specially created Moondog Lab lenses. This really embraces the micro-budget nature of the filmmaking, and it ends up looking really interesting. Submitting the film at Sundance, it became the first film at Sundance, a place where filmmakers have always brought creativity and interesting means of filmmaking to be shot entirely on iPhones. Of course, every film needs a known quantity, a marquee name, and James Ransone, who played Ziggy Sabaka on Season 2 of The Wire, and the fake hostage-turned-bank robber in Inside Man, a film we talked about last month.
Whatever. This guy. Asshole.
Is here as the pimp Chester, who uses Donut Time as his place to conduct business.
You know, my stuff was specific to Donut Time was that while we did have permits for the locations, they weren't locked off, so people just would walk in and out, and you'd have some crazy, methed out maniac in a wheelchair barreling down Santa Monica Boulevard, just like trying to get in the shot. So we'd have to cut every time that stuff would happen.
Tangerine follows multiple characters through the streets, but the dynamic duo at the center of it is Alexandra and Cindy, two transgender sex workers. After Cindy gets out of a 28-day bid in jail on Christmas Eve, Alexandra accidentally informs her best friend that her pimp and boyfriend Chester has been caught cheating on her with fish.
Who is she?
Girl, she's some white fish. I don't know.
Chester's fucking cheating on me with real fish?
Yeah, bitch, like a real fish. Girl, like vagina and everything.
I've been gone for 28 fucking days, and you mean to tell me that he's been out here cheating on me with fish?
Or a cisgender prostitute named Dinah, who is new in Chester's lineup. This sets off a chain of events as Cindy tracks down Chester's latest bottom bitch and looks for her boyfriend. Overlapping with the main story is the story of an Armenian taxi driver named Razmik, who is what we call a chaser.
It's a pussy.
You got him. Get the fuck out of my car. Give me my money. Where'd you put my money?
What is your problem,
Get the fuck out of my car.
Whatever,
That block you were hanging
Waste
on?
my time.
That's not for pussies.
Finding out that Cindy is out of jail, Razmik leaves his family on Christmas Eve to find her. This sets up a major climax at Donut Time as all these characters come together for a long-awaited confrontation. Even without the iPhone filmmaking, which is what a lot of the coverage of this film focused on, well, that and the fact that Maya Taylor and Kiki Rodriguez were submitted for the first ever Oscar campaign for two transgender actresses. This is a deeply frenetic and energetic film that could hold a candle to anything filmmakers like the Safdie brothers have cooked up. It's also deeply human, emotional, funny, and at times, dare I say, cathartic.
You act so motherfucking high and mighty about this shit. Yeah, I see it. Oh, no. But here's the thing. What didn't she tell you? She didn't tell you that me and her was knocking it 3 weeks ago? Oh. What, you didn't want to fucking tell her that part?